Nisa, when you look at the numbers, one can easily tell there are way more kids quarantining than actually having COVID-19, but school officials say they're simply following CDC guidelines. It seems nowadays some Bay District school students may be spending more time at home than in the classroom.
We've had kids quarantined as 2-3 times.
A common complaint among parents, their kids constantly coming home to quarantine. On social media, parents tell us that their kids have had to quarantine more than once, more than twice, and sometimes even more. According to school officials, as of January 22nd, more than 1,200 students and staff are currently quarantining after COVID-19 exposure. But what counts as exposure?
When we know that a student is positive, we look at every class that student's in, and there's a seating chart from the teacher, and we will identify everybody sitting around that student within 6 feet. If anybody is within 6 feet of that student, then that forces them into a quarantine situation.
That's the case even if you're wearing a mask. Official numbers also show there have been almost 4,000 quarantines since the start of school, compared to 479 confirmed positive cases. The 4,000 number does include students who've had to quarantine more than once.
And so every time we quarantine an individual, we add that to our total numbers of quarantine.
A Bozeman parent says her 10th grader is now quarantining for the 3rd time. She says with no Baylink, it's hard for her to keep up with schoolwork, and a negative test doesn't allow you to come back early.
It's not the test that brings you back to school, it is the actual quarantine time.
Students must stay out of school for the 7 or 10-day period, and when you multiply 10 by 3, some students may be missing dozens of days in the classroom. School officials say they also contact trace through lunch, athletics, and music classes. And they also say that they're trying to be as thorough as possible when contact tracing so they don't quarantine kids who don't have to be. Live in Panama City Beach, Gretchen Kernbach, News Channel 7.